redistributed.
But you're going to have to come up with that money.
Yeah, you have to in some fashion.
That seems like something we should go to.
But you don't know how much that is until they accept the
I
proposal.
would probably go ahead and see, trying to get a letter, regardless. It sounds like we need.
Yes.
I was recently at a staff development camp, and it was brought up there by the principal of the high school as to what to do with the 9th grade boarding at the high school. Why would we want to send 7th and 8th grade up there to do it as well?
I understand your concerns. I do.
You know,
I'm just trying to throw out the suggestion, possibility.
if you have such a concern about having these two grade levels together, you can do another option, and that could be split them. You got one that'll work so many hours in the morning, like a half day in school. Just start at 6 o'clock in the morning, then they go until noon, 1 o'clock, and then they go home, and then you can have the other one to come in. That way you renovate that building 2 different ways, all in one day. You're going to heat it anyway.
Using what they call a QZAP. It's funded by SBA or another entity, 0% financing or maybe 1% financing. That's another way you can get the money. That's how
many years to pay that off?
I think they're using 15 years in Pendleton. They're paying $55,000.
You still need the money to pay it back.
Yes. That is the easiest way to do it because you don't have to pay interest. We as individuals, taxpayers, will have to pay interest. But QZAP is another way to get the fund. You just have to find a bank to help fund it. So, what are you thinking?
I'm just gathering information.
What are you, if it has to be by October 2nd, I mean, is this something that October 1st? I mean, are you guys,
when is this decision made? How is this decision made? Yeah, what are we turning in?
that's what I'm asking.
Or are
What
we
you
turning?
thinking?
That's a better question.
I think
That's a better
that
question.
with my comment about how did we get to this point, I think something needs to be turned in. Because we need, our buildings are in bad shape, and we need help. And if we don't try, I don't know how Green Bank's gonna, and I know Hillsborough Arlington is a hostile, I understand that, but I don't know how Green Bank is gonna continue. I really don't.
What if, right, what if
You're
we
thinking
moved,
too much back.
Right.
what if we moved the board office to Green Bay School, build one, and then that would give you the fund, put on a new sewer system, new roofing, SBA.
Tell them that they're your floodplain or not, they're drowned or not.
That's right.
You're just trying to get you forward with something you can do. That's what you're trying to say.
So when will we know, when will we know what you're thinking?
Well, like I say, we have to submit something in writing on October 1st, and we have a board meeting on 5th, Monday. It's an LSIC at Hillsborough, actually, that's what it is. And we can announce there what we submitted. All right.
If you submit something and they say they just for some reason they would give you the money, are you stuck in that proposal? Can that proposal
Can it
be
be changed?
No,
modified?
what you can do, what would be the smart thing would be if we, say we make a proposal and we find out that it's just not what people want, we can always pull the proposal and it's not be considered. But we have to do an oral presentation in November, 5 minutes to do a presentation. And they award the money for December, so anytime between now and then, you can always pull the fund.
So what are you thinking about submitting? Mr. Rick, what are you thinking about submitting?
That's what I'm trying to get here.
That's why we're here.
Here's your idea.
You really want,
Forgive me, but my mind is spinning right now with all these different things coming.
How about we build all K through 12 up on snowshoes? Bus everybody up on snowshoes. That sounds like a great idea.
I'll tell you,
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
remember I said a while ago, when I first started, SB had some ideas that nobody would even consider. They want to build 2 K-12. That's what they wanted to do, 2 K-12.
Where at?
Right now, we know
minute, Mr. Big.
The architects have given us a general cost for Bronson Middle and a general cost for Green Bay. We don't have anything on the high school yet. So if we submit, I'm guessing we're going to have to submit on those two proposals, am I correct?
Yeah, if we don't have the other one ready, we can't.
Yeah. Which is, not unrealistic to do both, because I'm thinking it's $17, $18 million to do both projects, which, I think is, they could say, but we'd have to show them that we're doing something with 7th and 8th, or we're doing something to consolidate. That's what they're about, and rightfully so. I mean, everybody's saying Hillsborough, there's 8 kids there. Well, our numbers have dropped all through the county. I mean, we all know this. The high school's 300 and some. It used to be 600, 700 kids living in the county. I mean, Green Bay, all the numbers have dropped.
Yes.
I don't expect an answer, but have you also considered how the arts would be affected at the high school with 7 and 8 separated, and the use of the gymnasium and athletics?
No, when we first started talking about this evening, we said we haven't gone any farther except the facility itself. This building itself is, like I say, it's kind of the domino in the whole game here. And if it doesn't fall, nothing's going to, well, it may fall. We don't want it to fall. That's the first step.
Yeah,
but you're right, Mr. Morgan, there is so much to this, and it's not going to happen overnight no matter what happens. It's not going to happen overnight.
My question is, and this is water under the bridge, but why was this school ever built in floodplain anyway? The SBA gave money to do it at that time?
I wasn't here.
I know that. And I'm buddy. I mean,
Where was this?
I wanted somewhere else.
Well, I know they built the high school in the 70s. It was the same time. Years old. Lori?
I have one person here in favor of moving the 7th and 8th grade to the high school. So I just hope that just because the SBA has money to offer, that we're not basing a decision that is not popular because money is the word that we're looking at. I hope that is taken into consideration.
It's not that way. It's not that the SBA has money to offer. The SBA has money, and we're looking to get it. Okay, they're not offering.
Yeah, but not in sacrificing our students.
Right. I don't think anybody in this room would sacrifice a kid. I know I would. I'm not about sacrificing kids, but I'm also realistic that the community don't want to pay to fix buildings up. I've got to come up with money to fix these buildings because we cannot continue. We cannot. If the sprinkler system all once gives out on Green Bay, that's $150,000 plus just to fix that. I don't have an $80,000 tops to get through a year. There's no way. So what do I do with that?
You have to pay your teachers, and you have to pay your service, and you get to find out what's.
It's not like they're cheating me out. It's just
I just asked how the budget was. That's how you do a lot, what you have to pay for your staff, and then you get to divvy up the rest to pay for
It
your
wouldn't nice say a lot to me $500,000. I would need $100,000 more than that $500,000.
Right, well, I
That's what it
mean,
is.
$80,000 for maintenance seems very low to be paying that.
Oh, it's horrible. Horribly low. But you know what? We're still Peter.
No, we're not. Every building's gone.
Well, they are, but I mean, we're keeping extra money, but I don't know how long I can keep it afloat.
Right, do you see what?
Always laughing at that.
I said there has been instances though where you have had extra money. I mean, it's not just $80,000 you don't get it. You put about $200,000 in a special project in case a pump blew or in case whatever blew, which you could use, could you not, at some point? Like at the end of the year, how you kind of bank money, and then when you get to the end of the year, you got, we got a couple $100,000 left over because we didn't have a problem this year.
But now you have to understand, a lot of the money that we carry over is earmarked. You can't spend it
I'm
on
not talking
anything.
about carryover, I'm talking about extra money. For
Well, I know,
example, service
I may be wrong if I ain't carried over correctly on this, but when they had the Hillsborough project, and the gentleman asked where we got the $90,000 for that, or one of these guys asked me that, I think that they had that in special project money. Maybe I'm wrong. Where was that money?
General funds.
Just general funds.
You had $90,000 in general funds for that, but if a pump blows or something, you can't give him $90,000 to fix it, or you would?
You can have it first, and this year we don't have it.
You don't have $200,000 in special projects from the Forest Service money that you had put over?
Yeah, we used it to pay salaries with.
See, we're paying 13 salaries more than what we have coming in. As the service people, we're 13 over our limit. So those are salaries, all those salaries come directly out of our general fund.
But
They have to get
I do
paid.
remember at the end of the year, a special fund being discussed, and it was $200,000.
Right.
It was the beginning of this or the end of last year.
We have special project monies, but it's like type 1, type 2.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's,
That's for the education.
she's talking about the forest.
The forest money, we had that budgeted in. So I had to use it, and I didn't get money from other projects. So I had to use it to allocate the other infrastructure project.
I didn't think we budgeted that in because we didn't think we was going to get it.
I budgeted
I may have missed something too, but you said
but I didn't
basically
get other money.
you're just
like
functioning
Medicaid.
off, like for your salary and stuff, you're just functioning off what the state, what you receive from the state.
Right.
Does that include what you're getting from the county for taxes?
That's all general fund money. We do get some county money, but the salaries come out of the state aid formula that they base on the 1,400 students, and that's where we pay the salaries. Now, when we run out of that money, like we did with service, we have, like say, 13 over. We have a lot of aid people, we have a lot of special needs students, we have 20 bus drivers because we're spread all over the creation, and so we have all these extra positions, and we had to pay that out of general fund money.
Last year, we had probably 4 or 5 positions we had to replace that we didn't have in our last year's budget.
And then things pop up like the water tower that the high school started leaking. That's $43,000 just to fix it. People don't realize how expensive it is to get things, it's not like they're going to do it cheaper just because we don't have money. They don't care. That's our problem.
I think the bigger picture we need to look at here is there's some people from every end of the county here saying, if you propose a levy, we're behind, it'll pass. If you propose a levy that talks about things that we don't agree with, athletics and board office, it can pass.
Well, anything in there for the board office, I don't know where that comes from.
If on that levy,
Libraries, senior citizens, that kind of stuff.
if on that levy, you said that if we pass the levy and like run it for 3 years, that the first project we're going to do is put heat and a sprinkler system in Green Bank School. That's going to cost us X amount of dollars, and we're going to take care of that first. The second, then we'll do that. Then the second project we're going to do is going to fix that high school. We're going to do this. It's going to
And
cost
that's
us
the way you
$1 million.
would make and that all comes down to priorities, depending on where you live, where your kids go to school,
Right.
what priority is.
Right, but let the
right,
county know, and then the third, prioritize this. The first levy will do this, the second levy will do that, the third levy will do this.
But you
And
can
prioritize.
You
Yeah,
can
when
write a
they
levy
pass, you got that number for 5 years. So you can budget out, you got 5 schools, you got 5 years. So everybody gets, something.
Right.
Whoever's the 5th year is not gonna like it though, because they're having to wait 5 years.
Right.
The other time, their kids are already out of that school.
They're like
So that's the kind of stuff
Hillsborough,
you
if
run
they have to
into.
wait 5 years.
And you put it all into one school.
That's our problem, though, ultimately. We need to get away from 5 schools. I mean, our population is not going up, it is going down. I mean, I know my wife will hit me, but I mean, I know you all saying 7 through 12 is not good and stuff. I mean, they're not going to be sitting in the same classroom. But I mean, we got to look at the least amount of buildings we can get by with, because we can't keep up with the ones we got now. I mean, and you can say, well, oh, we don't want to sacrifice our children, but you know what? How many people are mad because their kids come home sick from this school all the time? So, you can keep it open, but guess what? You're not going to like it. So, I mean, ultimately, we got to get down to the bare necessities. And like I said, if they lose the funding for 1,400 and the forest money, I mean, where are we going to get this money? I mean...
But there was a lot of good options thrown out today that showed consolidation of schools without the 6th, 7th, and 8th after the high school. So I think that's the argument.
It is, but it's still, I mean, even if you consolidate up here, that's not fixing Green Bank and the high school. I mean,
that was my point, was we need to see a better plan that really looks at these things and lays out the options and the operational costs, so we can try to understand how we do survive.
yeah, how are we going to do it?
What is it, you said they would fund 2 K-12 schools in the county. What
Well,
would they do with that?
now, before that gets out in a big brush fire out here someplace, no, when Ben Ashley was talking about SBA, remember one of the things I said earlier, is they want new schools and less schools? And that's when he said 2 K-12 schools. And I said, it will never happen. They won't support that. And I wouldn't the only one that's shouted this from the rooftop either. But because of the athletics and all this stuff, and I understand how you feel, and I love athletics too.
Couldn't you consolidate? Couldn't you do
We actually
all
talked
kids
about
come to the high
We
school
did.
practice?
We
have one
absolutely
team?
threw that out.
Now I will say, and Ms. Kane can vouch for it, when I went to Green Bank High School as an elementary and middle school, Okay, so you build one school, guess what? K through 6 is on one floor, 5, 6, 7's in the middle floor, and the high schoolers are on the top. I mean, that's how they separate them out. You didn't even have to worry about wings. They're on different floors, and you didn't go to the other floor.
And it all worked.
Yeah, and I mean,
It would be wonderful if we could all support something that SBA takes.
yeah,
That's what
exactly.
But trying to find that golden nugget. Well, thank you all so much for coming out. I appreciate this. We've got a lot of good